Does your heart drop every time you see a cheery holiday commercial or a preview of a Christmas movie on TV? I feel like this time of year, that's like all you see when you turn on the TV. Like your social media is blowing up, everyone's decorating for Christmas, really early, and everyone seems so happy. And you could be thinking, you know what? This actually sucks for me. Like, it really sucks this time of year. And if you're thinking that, you're not alone. This can be the most challenging time of year for you if you're going through a divorce. I've truly been there, many holiday seasons, and it's so hard to watch everything always working out by the end of those movies. It's even harder to remember that these movies are not real life. I remember wondering at the time, like, why didn't it work out for me? What's wrong with me? And it sent me spiraling, honestly. But deep down, I was also conflicted because I've always loved the holidays. I'm actually here to help you get through this in the spirit of Thanksgiving, which in my mind is the start of the holiday season. I want to share a couple of things you can do to feel a little happier and maybe even thankful right now. Hi there, I'm Christine, and this is the X-Life podcast, where we talk about all things, especially healing from divorce. First of all, I want to lay it right out right now. This is not a video telling you to do a gratitude journal. This is not what this is. Because if you clicked on this video, you're probably not feeling very grateful anyway. Like for anything at all. Or not very much. So, as I mentioned, this is an extremely difficult and challenging time of year when everyone appears to be super happy. And there's also like that childlike thing where maybe you're thrown back to your childhood and you remember how happy you were then. And you could be comparing that to feeling not so happy now. But there could also be that battle because you want to be happy. I mean, the holiday season is kind of set up that way. You know, you're supposed to be happy. And that's a big struggle for you. And it might be very tempting just to bury yourself in work and become a couch potato until January 1st. I know I've been tempted to do that in the past. And it's very easy and tempting also to let yourself get very deeply depressed. And that's why it's even more crucial to actively look for things to be thankful for. Yeah. I mean, I know, right? Whatever. But supporting yourself during what could be a very emotional time for you is the most loving thing you can do. After all, you are, or should be, your greatest fan and your number one best friend. So answer me this. Would you let your bestie spend the holidays alone and down in the dumps? No. You'd be there supporting them, lifting them up, and trying to make them smile. Doing this for yourself is critical during this season, when those you normally would turn to might find themselves distracted with their holiday obligations. So let's get to it, starting small. Number one is don't underestimate the power of your furry children, should you have them. I know that, I think I've probably mentioned this before, but I got my dog during the pandemic. And I adore him. He brought me through that very difficult period, which everyone went through. And he is just invaluable to me. He's like such a big part of my heart. And there's something about, even if you don't have a dog, if you have a cat, they come up and curl up in your lap and you can just pet them. It's so relaxing and it really does make you feel good. Secondly, really give thought and remember those family and friends who unconditionally love you. I know it's so easy to get caught up in the negative and conveniently forget that you are loved and valued. And let me just pause to congratulate you also. I mean, you are still getting up every day and battling through the hard. And that's something that you should acknowledge. It is amazing. Keep going. Next, and this is really cool, there is a book series called The Book of Awesome. And it's by Neil Pasricha. I'm going to insert the books right here. And there's a whole bunch of them. But the Books of Awesome are all about the little things that can make you happier. And think about it, like popping bubble wrap. I think everybody loves that. Snow days, the smell of rain, the smell of the ocean, maybe finding money in your pocket that you weren't expecting. You get the idea. Those books are so cool, and I think it's a great idea to look at them. And if you can't afford to buy it, just go to the library. Finally, my favorite one is called A Wins List. WINS, Wins List. Now, I prefer to do it on my phone, on my notes app, because my phone is with me all the time. If you are a paper and pen girl, then journal it. That's fine. But it's helpful to have it with you all the time because little things can pop up. So let's just have some examples. You could say a win is, I had a great night of sleep for a change. Maybe you got up, took a shower, and washed your hair. Like you're in that season where you're depressed, you're just not feeling great. But that's a win. You got ready for the day. That's a big one. And in the thick of divorce, I think it's important to acknowledge every little step forward. Let's see, what else? I worked out today. Instead of laying on the couch, I worked out today. That's a win. I made food instead of ordering in. That's a win. I talked to my friend on the phone. Win. I went grocery shopping. Win. Basically, a lot of things that you have on your to-do list that you check off. Like today for me, I cleaned the house. Win. Big win. You had a surprisingly great movie or book that caught you off guard. That you were expecting it to just be, it's okay. Or you found a series on TV you really like. Win. Maybe you, if you're like me and you're kind of bad at this, you actually returned something to Amazon. You didn't just let it sit and let it expire and then end up throwing it away because you ended up not wanting it or it wasn't what you thought it was going to be, but you actually returned something. That's a really good feeling. A beautiful sunny day. Having dinner with your kid. I know mine's out of the house, so that's a win for me. You finished a project at work that you've been working on, and maybe you held back from stalking your ex today. That's a big win. So you get the idea. My coach actually suggested this to me when we first started working together because I had this bad habit of just remembering the negative and then downplaying anything I've actually done. And when I started seeing it all in the list, I was like, okay, pat on the back, and that should make you smile because you are doing things and there are surprises in life that can make you happy. So write it down. And again, it's not a gratitude list. It's a wins list. Any little thing. And it's very personal to everybody. And what's kind of cool is not only will you see like what you've done, which is going to make you feel good, but you're also going to see the progress that's being made where you didn't realize it. So that's how I want to wrap up today, is talking about how all of these things actually help. Like logging the wins specifically will help your brain acknowledge positive things and help you realize that all is really not bad right now. And then day by day, as these things pile up and you see your long list growing, you're going to have written proof of the progress you're making. And it's going to give you something to see on the bad days. So doing this, seeing the progress you're making, it's going to be the catalyst for healing from your divorce. And you will start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So comment below with which of these ideas resonated with you and what you're going to try. Because we're a community and here to help each other while going through this difficult time. I'm here and so happy you are too. I hope you have a great week.